Last night, Arizona won it again by a final score of 6-1 to keep their home winning streak going. Here's our countrywide home loan highlights from last night. Big-time home run power early. Junior Spivey connects for his 12th of the year. 399 feet worth of homer, 1-0. The Diamondbacks take an early lead. And Chris, wherever you put Cada, he delivers, doesn't he?
He seems like he's right in the middle of a scoring every time he gets it going. This time down the right field line, Ruben Mateo can't get it in time, and Junior Spivey comes across the plate.
This will make it 3-0. Meanwhile, Brandon Webb out of Ashland, Kentucky was something special.
He really had a good sinker working last night, but also a lot more breaking balls as well.
Shea Hillenbrand connects for his 10th homer of the year. That's in the 6th. It makes it 4-0. The Diamondbacks lead it. In the 7th inning, Reggie Taylor connects, the only bright spot for the Reds offensively. This two-bagger that scores the Reds run. Castro scores after a walk, and it's a 4-1 ball game. Now our Toyota tough play for tough trucks. Ruben Mateo comes up with a dandy from right field to nail Spivey.
Well, the ball gets away from Ruben Mateo originally, but Spivey's trying to stretch it into 3. Ruben on one hop to Juan Castro. Take another look at this exceptional throw by Ruben Mateo on the money, out at third base.
That was one of 3 hits that Spivey would have on the night. How about Robbie Hammock? He had 3 hits too, including this homer, his 6th of the year. This makes it 5-1, and the Diamondbacks blow their lead up to 6-1. The only chance the Reds have in the 8th, their best chance. Castro strikes out with the bases loaded. That tells the story of this one. 6-11-0. And how about Webb? 8-6 is his record now. Bale takes a loss. Manti gets the save. But Brandon Webb was something else. 11 punch-outs, a career high for him.
He's the real deal. There's no question about that. The guy impresses me because he can throw his breaking ball and change up for strikes, but he looks like he's under control right from the beginning of his windup to the end of his windup. That's why he throws so many strikes, and when you get as many ground balls as he does, he's going to be awfully tough every time out there.
Now to last night, Aaron Harang, another great pitching performance for the Reds.
Well, he's 3-0 for the Reds so far. He's made most of his opportunity to come over here in the National League. A guy that really has rarely made a mistake by throwing the ball up above the knees. I mean, he makes really no mistakes at all. Mixed up a lot of changeups last night, a lot of breaking balls as well. He looked very good. And remember that when you face the Diamondbacks 2 times in a row, you're looking at a ball club that is dying hard to get into the playoffs. So these guys are grinding it out, and he was able to shut them down.
Reds win it 2-0. 4 hits, 6 strikeouts for Harang. He pitched great. Here's our countrywide home loans highlight package from last night. Juan Castro gets his first hit ever against Randy Johnson. That chases home Mateo. The Reds lead it 1-0 in the 2nd inning. Then in the 3rd, what a night for Ryan Friel, Chris.
He really had a big hit right here. A breaking ball that Randy Johnson got up in the zone, and wham, there it goes over the left field fence. He could hardly believe it. He wondered where he was when he rounded second.
First career home run for Ryan. First homer of the year, obviously. 5th inning, Harang shows us how he does it.
I'll tell you what, Aaron Harang was able to move the ball all around the strike zone, getting his spots. That's the big thing.
And he had some good defense. Our Toyota tough play for tough trucks. Here's a 3-6-3.
That's one of the hardest double plays to make right there, but Sean Casey, very underrated defensively, gets the start and the end of that double play.
That was a 2-out inning-ending double play, and here's another 2-outer. A 6-4-3 double play that ended the 8th inning. We go to the 9th, and Reitsma picks up save number 3.
Well, Chris Reitsma came in there, got a couple of questionable calls by Mike DeMuro, the home plate umpire, but both punch-outs. Raul Mondesi, Shea Hillenbrand, he nails down his 3rd save, and Aaron Harang goes to 3-0.
There's your final numbers on this one. Harang 7 innings, 4 hits, no walks, and 6 punch-outs in that one. And when you add it all up for Dave Miley last night, that was win number 11 as the manager of the Reds since taking over for Bob Boone. A depleted team, yes. Pitching staff that looks like it's bouncing back, but a whole lot of questions that Miley has to answer between now and the end of the year.
Well, he's got to answer a lot of questions. For instance, who's going to play next year, if he has any say in that at all. But I think right now what he wants to do is just win as many games as he can. Put the lineup out there based on the roster that he has, that he thinks has got a best chance of winning, and at the same time give guys equal enough playing time so that they feel like they've had a good opportunity.
Last night, the final stop of the trip to Arizona this year. 2 stops, and the Reds did come up with 1 victory. That was in Game 2 of the series last night. They lost it by a final of 9-3, and here's how it's happened. In the 1st inning, Carlos Baerga, a bullet to center field. Matt Cada scores 1-0 Arizona, and to cap off a tough 1st inning for Danny Graves, here's a big swing from Spivey.
Well, this guy has killed the Reds the entire series. He's hitting the ball extremely well now. A guy that you can't throw the ball out of the middle of the plate to. He'll lose it. 3-run
homer, and it's 4-0. In the 3rd inning, Reggie Taylor collects a homer. That gets the Reds to within 3. It's a 4-1 ball game. In the 4th, our Toyota tough play for tough trucks. What a great play combo from Graves to Castro.
Danny Graves gets off the mound as well as anybody. Fires a bullet to Juan Castro. One more look at it, getting that leading lady at 3rd base. That's the way you play D.
The Reds did have some offense in this ball game. Here's Sean Casey bouncing a hit through the middle of the infield, and the Reds close to within 2. It's a 5-3 ball game. But look out in the 7th, a 4-run 7th, and here's the big swing.
A big swing by Shea Hillenbrand. That's a 3-run homer right there. He's another guy that if you throw the ball out over the middle of the plate, he'll hit it a long way. That's why they got him over there. And that's one of the reasons why the Diamondbacks came out of their offensive doldrums and scored 9 big runs against the Reds last night.
And you saw Danny Graves' numbers 4 and 14. We'll talk more about this a little bit later, but after the game and today, Danny Graves talked with Don Gullett, Dave Miley, and Graves is going back to the bullpen.
Yeah, he's happy about that too. It's something that he's glad that he took the experiment to be a starter, because it was always bugging him in the back of his mind if he never did take the shot at it, but he knows now it's not his niche.
And the other part of the pitching story that emanated from last night, of course, Scott Sullivan gone from the bullpen. Sullivan traded to the Chicago White Sox. He's there at the ballpark ready to pitch for them tonight, Chris.
A lot of guys upset about this trade. They really thought that Scott Sullivan was not making all that much money, that he would be back next year. But hey, when you're rebuilding, you're going to do it with youth. Somebody wanted Scott Sullivan, and they got a very fine man and a great pitcher on their hands right now.
And for the Sullivan deal, the Reds will get a player to be named later. There has been some talk it might be a pitcher or a third baseman who's at AAA. Dave Miley has seen him this year. But
Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Not to happen, though. But in the deals that the Reds have made, here are the players the Reds have gotten, and boy, have they shored up their pitching. In the Scott Williams deal, Dumatrate already this year is 4-0 with a 3.8 earned run average. In the Guillen deal, Joe Valentine is recalled. He's back today after Sullivan left. And of course, Aaron Harang in that Guillen deal has been big for the Reds, Chris.
You know what's interesting about those deals is that they got much more for Jose Guillen than they did for Scott Williamson. Harang and Valentine are both in the big leagues. The other guys for Williamson, they may be better in the long run, but they're a ways away from the major leagues. For Ken Merker from Atlanta, they got Mark Belisle. He's a AAA guy right now. He's been very good so far. And from the Yankees, we're still waiting for Brandon Clausen. He'll be shut down the rest of the year. He's still recovering from Tommy John surgery about 14 months ago. And Manning Pot, a guy who's doing a pretty good job down in Potomac in AAA.
Well, Clausen we won't see this year. He should be ready for spring training and should be a factor for the Reds in spring training.